What's up, guys? Bob the Gamer here, coming at you with some more Edison content. Today we're going to be going over the top 16 deck lists for Deck Devastators 7. Deck Devastators 7, it's an online Yu-Gi-Oh! Edison tournament. It's got 169 players, and it's got a lot of really good players from around the globe that can play in this. So, I'm excited to bring it to you guys, and let me know what you think. But before we get into that, I want you guys to check out edisonformat.com's Discord. They're the ones that put on Deck Devastators, and you can find a lot of cool people to connect with and meet there. They've also got the deck lists over there. You can see Blackwing Jiraiyakid. They've got popular, proven, viable, unproven. There's just a lot of people you can connect with and talk about the different decks that you guys like. So be sure to check them out. And thanks to edisonformat.com for putting on Deck Devastators tournaments. Alright guys, we're starting off hot. This is the winner of Deck Devastators 7. So this is Nicholas, 979809. Alright, so he played Vayu Turbo, obviously. It's mostly a standard Vayu list, but I wanted to touch on kind of a couple things. The first thing is he's on no Charge of the Light Brigade, he's on 2 hamsters. I believe he was the only Vayu player to be doing this. As well, he was on 3D Prison, and he still kept 1 oppression in the main. Short of that, he's on no Sorcerer, and he's on Solemn Judgment, which a lot of players are moving off of. Alright, we're going to go over to deck number 2. We have Gladiator Beast. Gladiator Beast got second at Deck Devastator 7. I know that when Snack was talking about the listings, he played a lot of Frogs, and he played a couple Dragon Turbo players, so I don't want to say that Joshua Johnson, who was the Gladiator Beast player that got second, got lucky, but, you know, anytime you go into a big tournament, your matchup spread, it's a part of the luck, you know, it's a part of the rankings. So he's got 3 spell and trap removal in the main for spell cards, for magic cards, excuse me.
To the effect of this magic card.
He's got Cold Wave, Heavy Storm, and he's got MST. As well as he's on 2 trap stuns in the main and Solemn Judgment. He's also on a 43 card deck, notice. He's on 2 Rediari, only one Sam Knight. And then he's on, you know, pretty much 2 of the other ones. He's on 2 Darius, 2 Laquari, 2 Aquest. And he's on a pretty interesting sideboard as well. He's on this Gladiator Beast Battle Mania. Or Manica, I apologize. See, I'd never heard of this card. This card's super weird. Basically what it does is equip it to a Gladiator Beast monster. It can't be destroyed by battle. When the equipped monster is returned from your side of the field to the deck, and this card is sent to the graveyard, this card being the equipped spell card, magic card, you return this card to your hand. I don't know what you put that in for, but he was running it. He's also on Heroes, which is super weird in the extra deck. He's on 2 Ab-Zero, and he's on 1 Gaia. I mean, the rest mostly makes sense, but moving on to number 3, we have Dragon Turbo. This is Ghost Rider 15. So fun fact about Ghost Rider, this dude might be, he's at least arguably one of the best Dragon Turbo players. So he's topped Deck Devastators 5, 6, and now 7. He got 3rd, 2nd, and 3rd place, respectively, in those tournaments. So a couple things to note here is he's on 2 Instant Fusion. He's not maining Lightning Vortex. He's down to 1 Vortex Trooper. And then for the sideboard, he's running a Minecon, which I don't know necessarily what that's for. I guess the Hamster Raiko Kaius decks. I mean, the deck does play a lot of tuners. And he's also on the Floodgate stuff. Just, you know, the Decrees, the Mask of Restrict, and the Royal Oppression in the side. So, good stuff. And we have 4th place. So this is Pinapinapina, a.k.a. Diego. So, Diego was on Frog Monarch. It's pretty much like a Dream Frog list, but there's no Fishborg in it. He's also only on 1 Avarice and 2 Salvage. Triple Soul Exchange, which is pretty crazy. And he's on 2 My Body as a Shield in the sideboard. I don't know. This card's seeing more popularity. I don't know exactly what that's for, but he's definitely on it. As well as 2 Prisons in the side. Aside from that, it literally 6 Monarchs. It looks like a Dream Frog list without Fishborg. I don't know if that's the way to do it or not. I do know that there was a little bit of controversy with the top 4 match with Pinapinapina Diego. He was not able to finish his match and had to go. I don't know if he would have ended up winning round 3 or not, but just a little bit of controversy in there. I figured I would mention that. Next up, we have Blackwing. So we're going to do the top 8 now. So we've got Blackwing and we have Lucas Gustafsson. He's running 3 upstarts, which is just trying to dig for that whirlwind, I guess. Instead of the draw traps a little bit faster. Figures I'll just give you the life if I can get whirlwind. And then he's on 2 Vayu, which I think is almost starting to become like the new standard in Blackwing. He's only on 1 oppression in the deck at all, which is pretty strange. There's no oppression to the sideboard. He's only got 1 in the main. And then he's got Solemn Judgment in the deck again. So Solemn is perhaps starting to make a little bit of a comeback here. Sideboard looks standard. Nothing really else worth mentioning here. Alright, we're going to move on to NB96, Hero Frog. So, this looks pretty similar to a Frasier Smith list. But he's not running like the Dandy or the Future Fusion and things like that. It looks like he's elected to go with upstarts instead of that kind of... I don't want to call it gimmicky, because obviously it's very good and Frasier's a great player. But it seems like he's just trying to go with like a more consistent version with that. So he's on the triple upstart. No Dandy Future Fusion. He is on 1 Deep Prison in the main. And he's got Burial in the sideboard. Burial from the Different Dimension. Alright, so good stuff. Moving on. We're going to go... This is Vayu Turbo. This is Samoopusteno's list. So he's on the Chaos Sorcerer. He's on 2 Caius, the Devil Greffer, Devil Armageddon Knight. He's on 1 Hamster, 1 Charge. And he's on 1 Icarus Attack, as well as Solemn Judgment. Again, seeing Solemn. Here's another My Body in the Shield in the side. That, like I said, that card's being very, very popular. And he also does not have Oppression in the main deck. I guess he didn't want to run into it with the Mirror Match or with Blackwing. Or I guess Frog Monarch, now that Dream Frog's kind of just like a Frog Monarch deck. So I guess he kind of wanted to move around with that. But also, Samoopusteno was the reigning champ of Deck Devastators. So he was able to still make top 8 with that. So good job, sir. He's also on Triple Armwing. I want to point that out, because some lists go Chimera Tech and other ones go Triple Armwing. The 3rd Armwing, at least for me, has come up. So, and then the last of the top 8, this is Dragon Turbo by Zinesha. So, excuse me, 2 Vortex in the sideboard, only 1 Instant Fusion, 2 Vortex Troopers, and it looks like they're on the Floodgate stuff as well, similar to Ghost Rider. And they have a Consecrated in the side. Ironically enough, they're only on 2 Quackymara Dragos, which I don't know if that's correct. That's like arguably the best card in your deck, but great job for getting top 8. Speaking of Frasier Smith, here he is. So he is on a Dream Fog deck list. 1 Fishborg, 1 Death Frog. Seems to be the way that they're moving in the standard. He's got the 6 Monarchs. Light and Darkness in the side, along with a Dark Dust Spirit. He's on 3 Soul Exchange, but 2 in the sideboard. 2 Avarice, 2 Salvage. I believe that was a comment that Denny Yu made. He's also on a Compulse. And it just looks kind of similar to, like, more so to James Arc style list with some tweaks, obviously. But yeah, looking good. Frasier Smith topping again. Not with Hero Frogs this time. Still with Frogs, but not Hero Frogs. Alright, moving on. Next part of top 16. We got Gybu with Vayu Turbo. So he's on a main deck Devi. He's on a Dust Tornado main. And he's on 1 Hamster, 1 Charge. Aside from that, looks pretty standard. No DD Crows. And he's got a Compulse in the side. And here we go. Here's 2 Vayu. Or, excuse me, here's 2 Armwing and a Chimera Tech. Moving on. Quickdraw Volcanic Shell. So super cool to see Quickdraw top, man. That's awesome. I love Quickdraw. So 41, he's got a kind of a heavier trap lineup. He's got 2 Deepers and 2 Bottomless. triple Avarice, triple Shell, and triple Quickdraw, which is pretty cool. Ironically enough, there's no Rocket and no Blaze Accelerator. And he's also on 2 My Body and a Shield and only 1 Dust Tornado, which is pretty weird. You would think they would fear oppression, but I guess they're just trying to out oppression with the My Body. But super cool to see Quickdraw. You love to see it. Alright, and then moving on, we have Jiraiyakid with Blackwings. So, the main deck Gores for Blackwing. 20 monsters, 4 draw traps, only on 2 Icarus. I know some Blackwing players are moving away from that. Again, we're on 2 Vayu. And looking like no Solemn, and he's on 3 Deep Prison. Also, no main deck Oppression. Both main decks are on the side, and then he's got 2 Banishers, and he's got a single Skill Drain in the sideboard. No sign of Cyber Dragon here, but he does have the system down in there for the Machinas. And finishing off the top 16 here, so we have Kingwarrer. So, fun fact, Kingwarrer had the same build as Samoopusteno, so we've kind of already talked about that. We'll just make the brief touches here. Sorcerer, 1 Hamster, 1 Charge. He's on 1 Icarus attack, Solemn Judgment, and he's on 3 Armed Wing and the 1 My Body. Again, the 1 My Body is very curious. I'm not sure why more players are moving towards that, but it was very, very popular in Deck Devastators 7. So, 3 Armed Wing. This is the way. Way to go. Alright, moving on. We have a Lightsworn list. Pure Lightsworn. So, no Christiasworn, no Twilight. We've just got good old-fashioned Lightsworn. Triple Wolf, 2 Celestia. We've got, your standard 3 non-Lightsworn guys. You've got your Necro, your Plague, and your Card Trooper. Cold Wave, I love Cold Wave in this deck. I think it's really good. Electing for the Mirror and Torrential in the main. 2 real traps. The sideboard's pretty interesting. We've got Devil Oppression and Devil Decree in there. This version of it elected for no monster reincarnation, and it went for more of a back to the beckoning. I feel like kind of the roots of the deck. It's got a Gaia Knight in the extra deck. And a sorcerer with a kind of a dark package in the side. It's got, the Kaikus and the Crows in there. And it's got no Threatening Roars, and it's got a Mirror of Oaths, kind of randomly. I guess just really respecting the Gladiator Beast matchup. Which is kind of cool. Great to see Lightsworn in there, though. You love to see the variety of Edison. Alright, next up. We have the last Vayu Turbo list.
Another one.
Spoiler alert. This might personally be my favorite list for this. It's got the 1 Oppression in the side, or in the main, 1 on the side. I like that ratio personally. It's on Double Book and Double Deep Prison. I know sometimes those kind of rotate, but I think that's super cool. They're on 1 Hamster, but no charge of the Light Brigade. I don't know that that's correct. I think you kind of need the ratio of 2, but what do I know? The Aduckmurdurer. Really just going all out and showing me up here. So, I like this deck. I think it's really cool. They have no Thought Ruler in the extra deck, and instead they elected to go for a Flamevale Uwu instead. That's probably going to come up more. I think that's probably a good call. But he is on the Chimera Tech and not a 3rd Arm Wing. But still, this list is super cool. I really like it. I might have to test this list out. Maybe find a way to squeeze a charge in there or something, but... super cool list. Way to go, Aduckmurdurer. And then we've got, to round us out, Yandame 15 with Frog Hero. So this is a very unique Frog Hero build. So they're on Malicious, and they are not on Prodigy at all. They're not on Malicious Edge. They are just on 2 Malicious, 1 Stratos, and 1 Ocean. He's kind of got some of the notes that Frasier Smith's list had. He has the Future Fusion, the Dandelion. He's on 5 discard traps. My Body is a Shield in the main deck. Like I said, that card's really showing up at Deck Devastators 7. He does have an Alias on the side. I presume that's for Deck Devastation Virus. And he as well is on 2 Soul Exchange for the side, 1 Water Art, and 2 Karma Cut. The extra deck looks pretty standard. So yeah, guys, that's going to be the top 16 list. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Check out one of these videos floating around here, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.